Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Movie Couple Live with another update from what we saw today on day 2 of D23. And today we got to see, if you, especially if you guys follow the Instagram and my Twitter, then you will know that we were at the Marvel Lucasfilm 20th Century Studio showcase. It was a lot today just because we woke up so early in order to make it down there, because even though we had a reservation, we still wanted to get good seats. And I will say it was a huge improvement from where we sat yesterday.
Oh yeah, the seats that we got were a lot nicer and up front, and no one was actually sitting in front of us, so we were actually able to see
and have
everything that was going on.
Yeah, and have leg room, which was really nice. You could probably see better than me because you can see.
I got a little bit of height on you.
Yeah, I was just like, I still had to do this a little bit because there were still people, like a whole other section in front of us, but there was so we were like the front row of the next section. So in any case, let's talk about what we got to see today. And what is this? Oh, I was okay, we're gonna get into it, but because you're wearing this shirt, and Shane says, nice shirts you're wearing. I mean, obviously I wore like my Lady Thor dress, but this was kind of like a last minute grab for you. We were like, what should I wear today?
I think I want to wear something kind of cool, because this was an awesome gift to me by one of our awesome followers, Chris Mendez.
Yes.
And one of our
friend.
And good friend. And it was, so I was like, you know what, this seems kind of appropriate, seeing how we're doing the Marvel panel today.
Yeah.
Not knowing just how appropriate this shirt was going to be for today. Because one of the things that we got to see, it was a performance.
I can do this
of Rogers the Musical, which was hilarious to be able to see.
Yeah. So well, I was leading into so Warren from Cosmic Wonder was texting me because I told him that I was really excited that they did the performance in person, and I am pretty sure, I'm like 80% sure that's Adam Pascal up there singing basically the same cast that was in the Hawkeye TV show, because it sounded just like him. And if you guys have heard him in anything, Rent, Aida, whatever musical production he's been in, he has a very unique sound that's not exactly easy to replicate.
Yeah, the only way that they really could have gotten away with it is if everyone on stage was actually lip syncing.
And Disney doesn't technically, for these live performances, they don't do lip sync.
Yeah,
they don't.
So it really did sound, and from a distance, it really did look like him.
Yeah.
So we're gonna just keep it in our mind and be like, you know what, it was him, because it would be awesome if we were just in the same room.
I would have liked it just to be him, because I've never seen him perform live before, and so this was, ever since I watched Rent, I was like, oh, Adam Pascal, Rent on tape, not, So, any case, that was really, really great. But Warren was like, did you get to meet him? I'm like, oh, I wish.
That would have been really cool.
No, but
of course, there's like so many people in that auditorium. As they were bringing actors out on stage for each of the films, pretty much every single one of them kind of did like a double take, looking out into the audience and going, wow, this is like a small country in here.
Who said that? It wasn't Brie.
I think it was someone from the Marvels, though. Actually, I'm gonna have to go back and look at my footage and see who said it.
I don't think it was anybody. But in any case, we're gonna talk about everything that we got to see today during the panel. So we're gonna go in the exact order that we got to see it in. So we'll start with Lucasfilm. So Alan Bergman does come on stage, but he introduces Kathleen Kennedy so that she can help bring out everybody else working on various Lucasfilm Star Wars projects, starting with Andor. And we know that Andor is the next thing coming to Disney Plus. We have a 3-episode premiere.
And it's coming out really soon. It's coming out, what they say, like,
I don't know if I RSVP'd for the thing that we got invited to.
Oh,
let me check. Hold on. Sorry. You talk about Andor. Let me just double check.
The thing is about Andor is that, one, yes, it is the project that is really right around the corner. And it's funny because when they first announced Andor, it was probably, out of all of the announcements that they made, one of the shows that I was kind of like, okay, that sounds cool. But the more and more material that we have been seeing from Andor, I am starting to get more and more and more psyched for this series.
Yeah.
The fact that we're also getting so much material, and it really does seem like they have a really strong grasp of the story that they want to tell, the style that they want to tell it, the darkness, the intensity, the brutality of it. And I am getting so excited to see this series. And I'm sitting here going, who would have thought that Andor is going to turn out to be one of the best Star Wars Disney Plus shows?
I mean,
that
it
they bring
certainly
out.
looks like it. We know a lot of the times Disney Plus, specifically Star Wars Disney Plus shows, they use the volume to film. And I'm not saying that they don't utilize it for this one, but also there are some shots that look like it's on location. Where I don't think they could have really done some of that in the volume. But we get 12 episodes in this season, and then we get another 12 episodes in the next season, which I think they're just about to start shooting. So that's really, really exciting. We did get another, I think like the final trailer they called it.
Yeah, this is going to be the final trailer. And
I don't know if you guys got it or not.
We also got to see I don't think we didn't get to see this in the panel. We saw this a few days ago. Was actually that clip from Andor where he's talking to.
Oh, it's like a preview that's on Disney Plus.
That's what it is. And the intensity of that scene. I think that is the one that just made me go, I'm 100% in for this series.
Yes.
So they hyped it up. They brought out the cast. However, this is something that we knew was coming. We've already seen a lot of material for. So them coming out, and there really isn't anything new that they could actually do for us.
Build excitement. Yeah.
Yes, very much so. And they're doing a great job of building the excitement for this series.
I mean, at the end of the day, before we get too far into it, I have to remember they're calling it a showcase, right? So it's kind of show what they've got.
Yes.
Coming up.
True.
So I feel like sometimes as fans and as we get so wrapped up in our excitement, we're kind of like, I want to see everything. I want to know what they're doing 10 years from now, right now, with all the details. And then we don't get that. We get a little, harumphy, which is really not the greatest way to look at things because it takes the enjoyment out of it. Yeah. So I have to constantly remind myself, this is a showcase. This is what's coming up to get you excited. And I am excited by, the looks of Andor. So with that, let's move on to the next thing that is
for Lucasfilm.
For Lucasfilm that Dustin's very excited about, Willow.
Oh my gosh. They brought out Warwick Davis. They brought out the entire cast. And I'm just like, oh, I grew up on Willow. I have to admit, I loved Willow. I watched it so many times. I love the storyline. I've been always wanting to know more about this storyline too. So I'm super psyched for this. I love the cast. I love being able to see Warwick Davis back on the screen.
Yes.
And the continuation of the story. The big thing that I pulled away from this, though, is something that they just kind of flicked out there and then moved on really quickly. Because I had heard rumors that they were going to have Mad Mardigan. But they 100% shot that down. Warwick Davis said, unfortunately, Mad Mardigan isn't in this series, and then moved right on with what he was talking about. And I was like, no, I'd had hopes that since Val Kilmer was able to make an appearance in Top Gun Maverick, that they would have been able to do something to bring in Mad Mardigan. Yeah, and that makes, and honestly, sitting here, I'm kind of like, it makes sense. Yeah. I mean, the dude went through throat cancer. He can barely talk. And it would be asking a lot of him to take on a big role. But I was hoping for a cameo, hoping for some kind of an appearance. Or maybe they just slid that in there because there will be a cameo of him and they just wanted to keep it under wraps.
Yeah.
But I'm still hoping that there's going to be a little bit of something of Mad Mardigan.
Mike Leiter says, I predict he is lying.
That is very possible because, for example, Benedict Cumberbatch was not going to be Khan. He's not playing Khan.
He's definitely not playing. Tatiana Maslany is definitely not playing She-Hulk.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, it could be a nice surprise for the rest of us when the show comes to Disney Plus. So we'll see. But it definitely tugged on that nostalgia string.
Yes, Willow does that very well.
And the trailer, the footage actually looked really, really good. I really enjoyed that, which I believe you guys got to see that as well, because I think they released that to everybody. So
yes,
that's really, really great. Let's go ahead and move on to the next bit, which are Star Wars animation, and starting off with the Bad Batch. So they didn't really take too long on this one because it's coming, and we got to see already a lot of footage from Star Wars Celebration. So they didn't even show what they showed at Star Wars Celebration here at D23 because it was so packed. Like this showcase was packed full of all the things from Lucasfilm and 20th Century Fox and Marvel.
Yes.
So it was a lot. So they didn't spend too much time with it, other than that we are getting a season 2, and there's going to be a 2-episode premiere on January 4th, 2023, which is not that far away.
Yeah, it is a little sad that it did get pushed back until back to January. But I enjoyed the series, and I'm really curious because the Bad Batch is the storyline that is the closest storyline to the aftermath of Order 66. So that is why I am really, really invested in this storyline and in being able to find out more information from the Bad Batch, and to find out how a lot of these things played out. But yeah, after the Bad Batch, it was pretty much, they came out, mentioned the Bad Batch, and then they moved on to the thing that I was like, wait, what is this? This is something new and interesting.
This was fun.
And it was Tales of the Jedi. This is going to be 6 episodes altogether, and they're coming in, what is it? They said 3
is about Ahsoka, and 3 are about Dooku.
So listen, so that means there was not
6 episodes.
6 episodes?
6 episodes.
Oh, okay. And I'm like, the trailer that we got for this,
6 animated shorts, whatever.
I was like, I want to hear these stories. These stories seem very interesting. You know, the finding of Ahsoka and pretty much we got to see Qui-Gon Jinn as a Padawan. So I'm like, I want to see how Qui-Gon was as a Padawan. We see some interactions between Mace Windu and Dooku. So I'm just very, very excited about the stories that we're going to get from Tales of the Jedi.
Very exciting. You guys know that, you know, I'm a huge Ahsoka fan, so to kind of see her as baby Ahsoka was really cute, and to see there was like a really quick clip of like Anakin training Ahsoka and how hard he was on her.
Again.
Yeah, it was just like so it's interesting to see that, because I don't feel like we really got to see that in Clone Wars as much.
Yeah, the hardcore
as she was
training sessions.
Right. So kind of like what that relationship was like then and how it's developed later in the past. Another interesting thing that I noticed during this really quick presentation of Tales of the Jedi is that Ahsoka never spoke in the sizzle that we saw.
Oh,
they didn't mention about cast returning. Anakin spoke.
Oh, good point.
And obvious, it sounded just like Matt Lanter, who has voiced Anakin Skywalker in all of the Clone Wars material. So I don't know if like they did a switcheroo, because he's technically supposed to be a voice double for Hayden Christensen, because it's the match. So I don't know if they like had Hayden do it. I'm pretty sure they went to Matt Lanter and they said, well, you do Anakin. But it was an interesting choice to have Ahsoka not speak at all, and they didn't say like it's going to be Ashley Eckstein.
Oh,
but,
if
like,
it's not
right? Like who else would he? I get that Rosario is grown Ahsoka, like full on, you know, years after after Order 66. Yeah, way after Order 66, grown, and is in the live action version. It doesn't make sense for them to change the voice actor who has voiced Ahsoka in that era.
Yeah.
Like she's already done it.
Yeah. So it would be really jarring.
I'm trying to look in the email to see if it was, but they didn't say it.
However, there is one flash of a character that I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to know more about her. Yaddle.
Yes.
Yaddle was in there.
There was a quick flash.
And she was in a lightsaber fight. So we might actually find out the fate of Yaddle. Why did we
Yes.
see her in the Phantom Menace on the Jedi Council?
Mm-hmm.
But why did we not see her in any of the other Star Wars material
We're
since
gonna
then?
find out. We're
So
gonna find
did
out.
she die? Did she die in this lightsaber duel? Or did she go off and give birth to Grogu?
Mm-hmm. And also to Lou, thank you so much for your super chat. Hello, Wendy
Thanks,
and Dustin. Happy
Lou.
Saturday. Thank you, Lou.
Happy
That's so nice
Saturday
of
to
you.
you too.
Happy Saturday. So a lot of people a couple of you guys in the chat, Rurutu and Cybo Goblin, Grogu's internet mom.
We might find out.
Maybe I don't feel like I need to know, but a small, tiny part of me, like 2% of me, is kind of like, oh, I am kind of curious, I guess.
Yeah, maybe Yaddle and Yoda, got it
No,
on.
I don't think so.
And Grogu is actually Baby Yoda.
Yeah, I don't think so. And speaking of Ahsoka, they talked very briefly about Ahsoka, the live action. They did not bring out anybody from the cast from Ahsoka because they are all busy filming, and it sounded also like Dave Filoni was eagerly wanting to get back to work.
Mhm.
And he even said, he goes, I know you guys know that I love Ahsoka. We have a lot of work, so I think he just kind of wanted to concentrate on that. But how do you have a Star Wars presentation without Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni? So they didn't really show anything, not even the same, footage that we got from Celebration. That wasn't shown at all, but we did get a couple of photos.
Have shown that, or at least re-edit it together.
Yeah.
To be able to give us a little bit of something.
Yeah, sorry that this doesn't fit the screen, but this is one of the photos that was shown of Ahsoka, and we already kind of know what she looks like from, seeing her in The Mandalorian already. But that gets me a little bit more excited, even more excited for the upcoming show. Should we move on?
Yes.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of things in not just the Star Wars panel, but also in the Marvel panel that they were like, and this production is coming out. Okay, we're moving on. And you're kind of like, wait, that was literally 30 seconds of it being up on the screen.
Yeah.
And we're not going to go into any more. Okay, we're moving on.
Oh, Mike is here. Thank you for being here. Hope you enjoy the Marvel panel as much as we did. I am coughing. Everybody say hi to Mike in the chat. I'm going to go get water.
So a lot of the things that they did just kind of mention and move on. I have to admit, there were moments in this panel that I was kind of like, oh, but I would like to know a little bit more. But the panel was already like almost 3 hours long. So I can kind of see if they have nothing new to say, they just kind of mentioned it and moved on. And one of the things that they actually did do that for was the next project that they brought out, which was Skeleton Crew. All we pretty much know about this is the fact that it's a group of kids that get lost in the Star Wars universe, and Jude Law is somehow involved.
Oh, yeah.
And we did get like a picture that was put up on the screen.
I think Jude Law's the villain, no?
I think so.
Or am I mixing him up with Captain Hook?
No, he is. Well,
wait, who's playing Captain Hook?
He's playing Captain Hook.
The 2 days are mixing for me.
Everything's blending together. We haven't had that much sleep. We got home. We started
4 hours last night. 4 hours the day before.
I
am wrecked, but it's fine. It's fine. Oh man. Okay. Cybo Goblin says, in regards to the Tales of the Jedi news, says Wikipedia lists Ashley Eckstein as the voice of Ahsoka, citing an article from July. Yes. I just couldn't see it with anybody else.
Yeah, me neither.
I just couldn't, because she's already voiced that Ahsoka literally from that timeline. Why would you cast anybody else? She is iconically known as the voice of Ahsoka. And it would honestly piss me off if they recast.
Yeah, it would piss me off. And also, that would just be the biggest slap in the face. Especially
Jude Law is everywhere.
Yeah. We're having the June Law Renaissance. Kind of like how we had the McConaissance.
We can have a Jude Law con and just like a collection of like all the things that he's been in. Because is he also not in Captain Marvel?
No. Well, yeah, he was in Captain Marvel. I thought you meant the Marvels.
No. Captain
We'll
Marvel.
get to that later on.
Yes.
But he's also he's also Dumbledore.
I'm telling you, you can have a Jude Law con. Just celebrate
Mhm.
all the things that he's been in. To the question in the chat, we are not sure when Ahsoka is coming out. I think it's slated for 2023 for Disney Plus, but not like they don't have a date. Probably September or December.
Yeah,
I'm guessing
probably
because it's
later
going to be a big
2023.
show.
Because we've also got a lot of other stuff coming out.
Thank you so much to Option 96
Thank
for
you.
your super chat. I know it's not popping up there, but we see it in the comments. Thank you so much. Okie dokie. Did I miss anything?
No.
Skeleton Crew. Okay.
Skeleton Crew. Yeah, we were just and Skeleton Crew was very quick. They're going, yeah, we're doing Skeleton Crew. Here's June Law. Here's a picture. We're moving on.
It was so quick that I couldn't tweet fast enough. That a lot of my tweets, because there's no edit button on Twitter, there was a lot of typo.
If any of you saw the movie couple Instagram,
Terrible.
I was like, who's trying to post? Why isn't it posting?
Yeah.
Oh no, I forgot to put a title on it.
Yeah, the signal was not the best in there because everybody was using up the bandwidth. So I eventually had to tether to my hotspot for anything to even like go out. And even then it was sometimes spotty. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next announcement, which is The Mandalorian Season 3. They did bring out the cast, the whole cast. Katie Sackhoff, Giancarlo Esposito, Pedro Pascal, Emily Swallow, and Amy Sedaris. So like all of our faves. And somebody was like, what about baby? What about Grogu?
That would have been funny if they had like someone carry it. Like,
but they already did it for Star Wars Celebration. They're just like, he's probably on set somewhere. It's probably very expensive to, wear and tear to like travel him.
Yeah, he has like his own little special case.
Yeah, so I imagine, and plus they didn't really spend too much time, on stage with the cast of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, once again, that was one that was very, very quick.
Yeah, it was very, very quick. So they did give us a season 3 trailer that I think all of you guys got to see as well. I mean, it looks like The Mandalorian season 1 and 2 that we love. It's the same vibe. The stakes gonna be a little bit higher because now
technically Grogu, he's no longer a Mandalorian.
Yeah, he's taken off his mask, so we know that they go to Mandalore. So like, what is next? We are going to upload clips from the panel later on to our YouTube channel, but I have to edit yesterday's footage first, so you probably won't get it until like maybe Tuesday.
We've got so much stuff to kind of edit and put together.
Because there's Halloween Horror Night footage that I have to edit as well, and so there's a lot. But Giancarlo Esposito talked very passionately about being a part of Star Wars, and he says Star Wars
he talked very fast.
Yeah, about people and the connection and about the whole galaxy, and it was a very inspiring, speech. And I feel like when you have an actor like Giancarlo Esposito, you give him the mic and you just let the man talk.
Yeah, he did kind of a 30-minute speech, but he did it in like 2 minutes. That's how fast he was talking and how I think he did it all in one breath.
I wonder if he rehearsed it.
He probably
or he improved it. What would be more impressive is he just improved it. He's like, what?
He knows
I'm gonna follow my passion. Give me the mic.
And he just ran with it for a while. It was his show.
Yeah, it was great. Going back to the chat for the super chat, thank you guys so much. Talking Entertainment with Josie, thank you so much for your support. Love the stream and sending support.
Thank you so much.
Very much. And to Nikita, thank you so much for the super sticker. I can't see it. What is it?
Like normally it should pop up.
No, it doesn't pop up on there.
It is a sticker of popcorn.
Thank you, Nikita.
It's funny. We saw some people walking around with popcorn on the floor today, and a part of me is like, I'm wondering if it's Disney popcorn or if it's just like convention popcorn. If it's not, if it's not Disney popcorn, I don't want it.
Did it smell like Disney popcorn?
No, it didn't.
Well, then,
I didn't want.
You know your answer.
But I want it to be Disney popcorn.
You would have paid $8 for non-Disney popcorn when you can go into Disney and pay $5 for their Disney popcorn. So, in any case, next super chat is from Option 96. Thank you so much. Greetings from Canada. Yay! TIFF is also happening right now. There's a lot of news coming out of TIFF. I can't wait to hear people's thoughts on The Glass Onion, which premiered tonight at TIFF.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I can't wait to listen to all the reviews. Very excited to hear about the Indiana Jones footage. And short round jokes during the Loki season. Yes,
that was
is
hilarious.
No, but I feel like they're gonna try to insert short round jokes in the actual season 2 of Loki.
That would be awesome.
Or just like
there's different variants of
Kiki Kwan's
character. And one of them is going to show up in like a baseball hat and the t-shirt.
Oh my God, please. I need it.
Because also on somewhere on social media, I think it was on Twitter, there was a picture of Kiki Kwan with Indiana Jones, with Harrison Ford.
Backstage.
So cute. And I'm like, oh, they're together again. I want to see him. I want to see them together again. Dr. Jones.
Reunited.
One of the lines that I say just in my everyday life is, no fun, Dr. Jones. Anytime that I'm not having a fun at something, I say that.
Yes. And speaking of that, right after, because this is the Lucasfilm panel and not the Star Wars panel, they did roll into the next big thing, Indiana Jones. This is unfortunately Harrison's last one, but the man is 80.
Yeah.
So let him hang up, the hat and the whip. And he even said, he's like, I'm not falling down again for anybody. He said it in the most Harrison way possible, but you can tell he's on stage, the way he got so emotional talking about this movie. Like, I know sometimes he seems like, grumpy, but I feel like that's just like maybe like just a part of like what he puts on for the interview.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when people have met him, they say he's like super nice and like very kind of like bright and Yeah, so that's what I've heard. And on stage, he got really emotional talking about this movie. He said
definitely got choked up.
Yeah, he said that this one is really fantastic and it's gonna kick your ass.
Yes,
he said that. I was like, oh, he cussed.
And he kind of made it sound like he was alluding to like, we got this one right. We're sorry for the last one. Kind of that was the kind of the vibe that was coming off of Harrison Ford when he was talking about this one, that this is a great way to end it, that this one's going to kick your ass, and that you will love how they wrap everything together and bring it all together.
Yes. I think he said, yeah, I am really, really happy that we have a really human story to tell, as well as a movie that will kick your ass. I believe it. And honestly, the trailer, which I don't think you guys got to see, do I even not? It's not here to share. So, what's cool is that they're like, it's so Indiana. Like there's parts of him with the whip. There's kind of that like the joke of like he's like yeah, pop 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 whip pop, and everybody's like, oh yeah, and they pull up their gun. And he's like, huh, and he does that, that Harrison
Ford. That is actually one of Harrison Ford's signatures, is that he does the oh shit look very, very well. When he's in the, oh my gosh, The Last Crusade, when he's hanging from the cliff and he grabs that root and he's like, I'm going to survive, and then pulls. He has that oh shit look on his face when he's holding on to the on the side of the tank. He does that look insanely well.
Yes. And the film will be released June 30th. So I'm very, very excited. That's going to be huge. I'm very, very excited about it. I can't wait. It just looked, like I remember I'm trying to remember my feelings when I saw the trailer for Crystal Skull and if I felt excited about it, because I love Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And I can't remember because I just didn't like that movie that much. So thinking back to it, naturally I feel like, oh, I must have not liked it, right? Because it just didn't feel Indiana Jones to me.
Yeah.
But this one, from the looks of it so far, though whoever cut the trailer together did a really good job with it.
And of course, the character that I've been dying to see come back, Sala.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh my God. Gimli's coming back. But I saw him, I heard his voice, and I was like, oh, it's Sala. It's Sala.
A lot of the audience got really excited about that. Yeah.
And I'm stoked. This looks amazing, and it did what it's supposed to do, which is just get us psyched and excited for this show, for this movie.
And with that kind of wraps up the Lucasfilm segment of the showcase, and they moved right on to Marvel, which I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh, they're not going to put 20th Century Studio first, but as we went through, I understood why, because they wanted to close it out with Avatar: The Way of Water. So I was like, oh, that makes sense, because it's like that's the major title that is coming from, that the studio. So we went into Marvel, and Disney's really, really good at D23 about making it, when they call it a showcase, it's not just people up there talking. There are things. Yeah. So Kevin Feige was super excited about this. He's like, you guys, I cannot believe they let me do this. I've always wanted to do a musical number in Marvel, and we brought it here to D23 for you guys. You guys, we got to witness live Rogers the musical live performance. So I have a photo, and I'm sure you guys have seen circulation by now, but here is the photo that I snapped of da 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 da. It was so cool. I couldn't believe it. And a really funny little story. So we lined up pretty early, and for press, we we have personnel like that walks groups at a time over to like the media area, and they like the person literally walked us into the auditorium, which I found weird, because it was
like an hour and a half early.
An hour and a half early, and we sat down, and I was like, I don't think we're supposed to be in here. So I put my phone away, because I just like wanted to make sure that they knew that not anybody else, I was not trying to record anything ahead of its whatever. But we walked in, and I'm listening to the song. I'm like, and I was like, I could do this all day. And I was like, are they playing this? Because this sounds live. And we come around the corner, there's a live band, there's performers in their, out of their costume, literally rehearsing on stage.
I'm like, this is a rehearsal.
And I turned it down. I was like, we're not supposed to be in here. But we're following the person who was like, yeah, come on. And they took us past several security people.
Yeah, and I'm surprised someone didn't go, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa.
I mean, we sat there for like half an hour. We sat there for a full half an hour.
And they were showing stuff up on the screen.
And I was like, I don't want to see it yet. I don't want to see it. I was like, everybody put your phones away. So nobody reported anything while we were like, from what I saw, there was like, I don't know how many of us, but nobody took their phone and like recorded. I mean, we're all just kind of like trying not to try to be invisible.
Try to be like I'm not
really here.
I'm not a threat.
But
not a threat.
It was cool to see them. They sounded as great in rehearsal as they did in the live performance. So that was really cool to see, because damn it, I
still want them to bring Rogers the musical to Disneyland, that Disneyland theater in California Adventure.
Oh, the Hyperion.
The Hyperion.
Where they did Frozen?
Yeah, where they did Frozen.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be awesome. You just kind of just take that have that number in it, and you just kind of stretch it out from there. Add a little bit of a beginning. Have someone like telling the story of the event. Like have Ant-Man telling the story of the Avengers, or who is it in Ant-Man that it's really funny when he tells the stories?
Oh, right. No, not. Oh gosh, Michael Pena.
Michael Pena. Have it be like Michael Pena telling the stories of the Avengers, and then every now and again a musical number breaks out.
That'd be great. And going back to the chat, thank you so much to Theodore Harris for your super chat. Says, good evening. There's a great article in the New York Times on the women of Wakanda Forever, perspective of the actors. Ooh, great read. Thank you for letting us know. We'll definitely look into that. I want to know anything and everything about Wakanda Forever. Thank you so much, Theodore, for letting us know. Make sure we remember that,
and
so we can read it.
Speaking of that, after we got that amazing performance of Rogers the musical, that is exactly what they dove into. Was Wakanda.
Sorry, guys. There's the tag for Rogers the musical. Here, just in case people were like, "Hey, what Rogers the musical?"
Hey, what happened?
There you go. All right.
But right after that, Kevin Feige's like, I can't believe they let me do this. But now let's get into what's coming from Marvel Studios. And of course, the big tentpole that's going to end phase 4 of the MCU, Wakanda Forever. And you can tell just by the way, because the first thing that they did right off the bat was show us that clip.
Well, they brought out Ryan Coogler first on stage, and it was an exclusive look that I don't think the audience, the rest of you guys
No.
got. It opened with a scene. It looks like they're at the UN.
Yes.
Like that looked like the setting, and various leaders from the world. Essentially, like they're trying to put some pressure on the Queen of Wakanda, Angela Bassett herself, talking about how their refusal of
sharing vibranium.
And she said, well, we may, and they had like, oh, well, vibranium can't be detected through metal detectors, and it's dangerous, and or you should be the only one having it, and this and that, just excuses. And she's like, we have never traded vibranium, nor will we ever trade.
It's not the fact that we don't know the danger of vibranium. It's the fact that we know the danger of you.
Yes.
And I'm just like, she is so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And she is such a, everyone on stage that came out to talk about it, everyone in this scene just had such a powerful presence.
Yes.
And I am so psyched for this movie. And I'm willing to bet money right now on it, just how amazingly powerful this movie is, just because of how much the creators have invested, the actors have invested, the fact that they are so because it's like it's an homage.
It's to honor Chadwick Boseman,
to honor
the whole movie.
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
And it's like they would not let themselves have that movie be anything less than amazing.
Yeah. And what's really interesting in this exclusive look is that Angela Bassett actually spoke of, Wakanda right now has no king and has no Black Panther, but we still have to protect ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And then it
you
cuts
have lost
to
your protector.
Yeah, and it cuts to a Wakanda outreach facility, and where it looks like a bunch of scientists working on researching and doing, like developments or inventions having to do with vibranium. And a group of soldiers, we're not sure exactly. Well, it's the two people that were complaining from the UN. I feel like that's why they highlighted them. One was France,
America,
and the other one was America.
It was America and France.
And it basically shows a group of soldiers kind of, infiltrating that facility and force the workers to open up this one like it's not a cache, but like
the
a
vibranium
giant
vault.
Yes. And so they were forced to do that.
There's no vibranium in
but there is no vibranium, but they did find the Dora Milaje.
The Dora Milaje has jurisdiction wherever the Dora Milaje find themselves. I'm like, yeah.
Yes. So that was really cool. And,
they kick ass.
Cut to some really freaking cool action sequences to the Dora Milaje, cut to back to the Union, opening the door, and all those soldiers in handcuffs, and kind of throw them on the floor and be like, you were saying about why we don't trade vibranium?
This is why. Because we know you're going to take it no matter what.
Yeah.
And honestly, a part of me feels like that if you made a rated R version, it wouldn't have been them in change. It would have been them in body bags. And just being like, you attacked us, and this is what happens. Try it again.
What I learned from that trailer, that first opening scene, is that Angela Bassett remains to be a powerhouse. Every word she spoke was so full of emotion. I can't, and this is kind of the same setting as the one she said. What did she say in the trailer where it made us cry? She said, everyone in my family is gone.
And
it's the same setting, but she did not say that line in this exclusive look that we got. So obviously they just showed us a small segment from it, but it got us really excited. They showed a ton of Namor in the trailer, and a shot of a person who's wearing the Black Panther suit jumping down. And to me, I didn't really notice it in the official trailer that is out, but in this one, it's because it's of like the calf. It really looked like it would be Shuri, which makes sense. And
it was definitely gold.
Black and gold.
Yes, it was definitely black and gold. So that is the Killmonger suit.
Yeah, and we're not saying Killmonger's back, because that was not a Michael B. Jordan leg.
No, it was not.
That was, I think too slender for a Michael B. Jordan leg.
And then after the amazing panel that they had, I mean, after the amazing presentation of Wakanda Forever, they did do one of the quick little, oh, and by the way, there's also going to be Ironheart. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
So, because that was something that was really quick. They didn't show anything from
Dominique
that.
couldn't come. They showed us an exclusive look
Yes.
as well. And
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Anthony Ramos is in the show as the Hood. So he came out. He talked about this is a very complex character, and the Hood, the kind of person who is a misfit, who takes in other misfits. Who, even though is the villain, but he is what do they say about like the good villains is they truly believe in what they're doing is right.
Yes, those are usually the best villains.
Yeah, and that's
that
kind
he
of
is
like the
trying
character.
that he thinks he's doing good. Or he believes what he is doing is good. And I loved what they were talking about what this battle is really going to be. That this is the first time that we're going to see tech versus magic.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, I like that's honestly what I've been wanting to see since Iron Man 3. When we thought that we were going to get the Mandalorian, the Mandarin in Iron Man 3 was going to be this battle between tech and magic. Yes. We're finally going to get that between dark. They specifically said dark magic, the dark arts, and they also said, and they were saying versus tech.
Yes.
So I am really excited to be able to see that showdown and to see how these characters develop, because
that is the first time we're going to be able to see something like that on screen.
Really and we got to see some glimpses of what Riri's armor looks like.
Oh man,
it looks badass.
That's exciting. Yeah.
And there's something that kind of, as Iron Man's tech slowly evolved, that we ended up getting, that we kind of lost a little bit, was the fact that it's a suit of armor. The fact that it's something that he has to put on, that there are limitations to it. Once it became nanotech, it's always with him. So he's now pretty much a super-powered individual. However, we are now seeing that kind of back to form with the Iron Man-ish armor tech, is the fact that it's something you have to put on. It is a physical, tangible suit of armor.
Yes.
And I'm like, yes. That is something that is so cool.
I do wonder a little bit about the timeline, because Riri is a young inventor.
Yes.
And can't remember his name right now. It's Bruno from Miss Marvel is also an inventor, and she's at MIT. But I don't know if it's like the program at the end, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if their timeline overlap, but I think it'd be cool if they met, like inventor and inventor. That would be kind of
cool. That
would
be awesome.
Yeah. So not saying that that's going to happen, but when I heard MIT, I was like, oh, Bruno. He also got accepted for a little. We don't talk about Bruno. Thank you so much to Ross Bauer for your super chat. Ross writes, I wonder if Ghost still has her phasing powers. So happy to see Hannah John Kamen back. Yeah, it was really, really cool. And she looked gorgeous on stage too. It's a bit of a shame that a lot of these talents spent usually no more than a minute on stage, because they're all like dolled up, and like their stylist picked out like a really awesome outfit for them, and obviously they're doing the press line interviews outside, so they're seen, but like we as the audience inside the showcase get to see them for like just a second. And they're like, okay, bye. But yeah, we are definitely going to be talking about Thunderbolt coming up. Thank you so much to Ross for your super chat.
So what everything is doing very well is getting a psych.
Oh, Bruno's going to Caltech, not MIT. I mixed up the schools.
That's right.
Thank you, Ruru, too, for the yes.
Ned
and MJ are going to MIT.
Oh,
that's interesting.
Wonder if we might see them.
That'd be great.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because that's also something very interesting. Because technically, yes, Ned and MJ are a part of Spider-Man, but those characters are actually not a part of the contract that Sony would have with Marvel. They don't own those characters. They own Spider-Man and all of the Spider-Man characters that are in the comics that Sony has to have the movies. So they technically could have Ned and MJ in Ironheart. They could have they can do whatever they want with those characters.
I wouldn't mind it.
So
I think that'd be a fun overlap.
Now, I might be completely wrong, because if they are actually if they actually are under Sony's property, they created them, so it's their intellectual property. Now that I think about it, so I could be completely wrong, but there might be that little loophole.
Yeah, there might be a little. Yeah, so at least a mention, even, that'd be cool. The next project they talked about is Ant-Man and the Wasp. I believe, from talking to a couple of friends who were in Hall H during Comic-Con and were also at D23, they said that the footage that we got, because I don't think that was released to the public either.
Nope.
So the exclusive look we got is essentially the same one from Comic-Con.
They said there were some jokes that were switched around, some editing things that were changed, but for the most part, it was the same video clip.
Yes. And what's really cool is we have like the whole family essentially around the table. So we've got Hank, we've got Scott, we've got Hope, we've got Michelle Pfeiffer. I gotta look down at my oh god, it doesn't say it here. Janet Van Dyne and Cassie Lang, all around the table, and they talked a little bit about like what they were up to during the blip. And essentially there is this like signal that they invented that sends a signal into the quantum realm.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Janet's
like, you can't do this. You're
sending a signal into the quantum. Turn it off now.
And then it went boom, 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 boom. Yep. And everybody went right into it. And I was like, well, that is intense. And I'm trying to remember, because we weren't allowed to have our like laptops open to type even. They were like really strict about that. And I was like, how am I supposed to report though if I can't type? Like, I'm not. And what am I recording with my laptop?
The security guard that we had in our area was a little overly
They're
strict.
all like that.
But
I told you that Disney was really strict.
But the things that we were supposed to be allowed to film,
like Rogers the musical,
that's obviously not going to get spoiled.
She's like, turn it off, and I was like, oh, you're gonna tell every single person that's in front of us to turn it off too?
Everyone was filming that.
The entire, and like nobody is. Yeah, so I was like, this is already. It's not a exclusive look. It's already been in the show publicly. I can watch it on Disney Plus right now.
But they got sucked into the quantum realm, and then we got our appearance of Bill Murray.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was a quick flash of Bill Murray.
Quick little flash.
Like, I was like, wait, what?
Janet, I didn't think I'd ever see you again. And everyone's like, you know him?
Yeah.
So I'm really curious on what Bill Murray's character is going to be. What is his importance? Is he just kind of like an old flame that Janet had while she was in the quantum realm?
Yes. And we get to meet King in this one. So Jonathan Majors is also on stage along with Evangeline Lilly and Paul Rudd to talk just a little bit about the movie. You know what's funny is because they're standing next to the man, Kevin Feige, all of them were just kind of like, when they got the mic, they're like, what can you tell us about this? And it's Kevin Feige asking you. And you're like, I don't know, Kevin. What can I say? What can I say? Brie Larson made a joke out of it. She was like, I've seen it. It's cool. You guys will love it. And
that's all I can say.
They would all check in with Kevin like, am I still okay? Am I fired? Did I spoil? Like, they were all like afraid to say anything. So they really just talked about how, the overall theme is everybody's excited for what's coming up. That they're grateful to be working on the project, and it's been, if they're like new to the MCU, that's been really exciting for them. So
and that Paul Rudd's the sexiest man alive.
Oh my god, they made so many jokes about that.
On joking about that.
Yeah, that was really great. Rurutu says, and everyone passed the mic. Tom Holland, master. Tom Holland and Mark Ruffalo are master spoilers.
Anytime Tom Holland would touch a mic, all of a sudden it would just go dead.
Like,
because they're
that
like,
one doesn't. He's not allowed to speak.
Nope. That's why they always put him with Benedict Cumberbatch, because he was so good at being like, nope.
What was really cool about Quantum Realm when King showed up,
the Quantumania,
is that when King showed up, and he kind of has like a conversation with Scott Lang, and Scott was very bloody, like bloody nose and everything. So like, I have no idea what he had encountered before that, and he's like, who are you? No, who are you? I'm an Avenger. He goes, you're an Avenger, huh? I've killed you before. And I was like,
killed you before?
He's like, oh, they all kind of blend together.
I'm kind of a man out of time. You kind of lose track of them.
Yeah, it's a very different Jonathan Major than, that version of Kane that we saw in Loki.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that one was a little bit more kind of like, I don't want to say loopy, but like...
was a little bit more goofy, a little bit more
theatrical,
a little bit more mad scientist.
Yeah.
Where this guy looks like he doesn't have an ounce of emotion on him, except for maybe anger. But he had that purple and green suit armor on.
Oh, it looks
that looked
so
really
good.
cool. I was like, that, because Kang's outfit in the comics is, purple and green is kind of a weird color to kind of pull off, but they pulled it off very well.
A lot of the characters have purple and green in Marvel, though.
Yeah, true.
Hulk,
but
the Hulks.
Oh yeah, the Hulk is very purple and green.
Yeah.
But I thought I've been wanting to see this, and they had a quick 2-second flash of MODOK. I have to admit, I geeked out when I saw. I was like, that's MODOK. I was like, oh.
It was really quick.
I didn't like the way he looked, because he looks like his whole face is actually metal.
It was too quick for me my eyes didn't even register it.
Oh,
yeah.
At first, because I'm looking for MODOK.
Oh my god!
The way that he looks like a giant head in the comics, with tiny little arms and legs. But this, he actually looks more like a machine.
Yeah.
So I'm curious on how they're going to pull him off.
Yeah. And with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the next project coming up from Marvel, and that is Werewolf by Night. This is going to be directed by Michael Giacchino. I was like, he's a composer. Michael Giacchino, which is really interesting because he hadn't really directed too many things before. I think a couple short films, but he has done a lot of music for a lot of different projects, including Marvel. So this is really, and in the trailer that we saw, not a trailer, but maybe a first look, which I think everybody got to see at this point.
I think they did drop that.
He also did the music for that. So I didn't know what to expect from Werewolf by Night, but I kind of love that it's a vibe. It's black and white. It's kind of got that retro, the horror. Yeah.
Like, what is it? Original Universal Studios monster movie.
Yes. I like that they embraced
the terror.
That.
What goes bump in the night? And they even had a little cheese. I'm rotting for you.
Yeah. Oops.
Instead of rooting for you.
Yeah.
But, and it also, it looks pretty gruesome. It showed an arm getting severed off and what looks like blood. But since it's all black and white, you really can't tell. So it looks like it's really going strong horror. And they even did mention, those movies that you saw as a kid. Think about that movie that you saw that's technically, fun for kids, but it has those parts that terrified you. That's what we're going for this film. We're going to try and terrify the next generation of movie lovers.
Yeah, so that was fun to see. I'm glad that they gave us a little sneak peek at Werewolf by Night, which comes out, I think, this October 7th. And that's going to be on Disney Plus. So that's right.
Yes, that is going to be on Disney Plus.
So that's going to be really exciting to look forward to. And the next thing after that,
speaking of them doing a Halloween special, they didn't mention anything about their holiday special.
Oh, the James Gunn, the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
nothing about that.
Nothing at all. There's a lot of things that they glanced over that I'm like, because they didn't even mention anything from Guardians at all. Now, true, they dropped a bunch of it.
I know. I wanted to see what they saw at Comic-Con.
Yeah,
I wanted to see
or at least a little bit of a teaser of it. Definitely the video, because people were going nuts over that.
I bet you trailers are coming. So
yeah,
that's probably why they didn't show it. But they did show us some cool stuff from Secret Invasion. That is the next Disney Plus show. It looks really good.
It looks amazing.
It looks really, really good.
I mean, this is one of the series that I have been dying for ever since the MCU really started picking up and going to where we might actually get this. We might actually get this storyline. And it's one of my favorites.
Yes.
I have the comics for Secret Invasion, and I've read it a couple times. And I love the story. I love the fact that you can't trust anyone. You can't tell who these scrolls, who's a scroll and who's not. And they really kind of pushed that down with Nick Fury to where he doesn't know who to trust. He doesn't know who's a Skrull.
There's a conversation he has with. Did you guys get to see the trailer for Secret
No,
Invasion?
I don't believe.
Yeah, no, it says trailer and film stills are available.
Oh,
Yeah, so there apparently there is one according to this email that I got. But there was a cool conversation between Nick Fury and Rhodey talking about like, how long have you known about this? And Rhodey's like, 15 years. And Nick's like, so you knew and you said nothing. Cool. Yeah, and it looks like pretty intense.
yeah, and well, that's the same thing with Rhodey. You know, even if you knew for 15 years, but you don't know who to tell.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know who to trust. So you're like, well, I can't tell anyone.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait because they really do. The vibe that they're pushing for this is espionage, secret, who done it. I mean, who's who, can't trust anyone.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Very, very excited. Halfway through that conversation, I was expecting Rhodey to turn into a Skrull.
Yes, I wanted to see someone.
Well, we saw a Skrull.
Well, we saw a Skrull.
Yeah, we didn't see anybody do the.
I wanted to see someone turn into a Skrull.
I think there'll be plenty of that. They're just just a little tease, and this is going to launch on Disney Plus in 2023, and then they segued from Secret Invasion into Armor Wars. That there wasn't really anything to show because they literally have not even started production on it, but Don Cheadle is a part of it. So
and it's cool that we're going to get a lot of Don Cheadle in Secret Invasion, and then he's going to be the driving force in Armor Wars.
Yes.
And Kevin Feige did specifically say that what happens in Secret Invasion does very much lead into Armor Wars, and that's what I'm really liking about what Marvel is doing right now, is that these story arcs go from one story and then bleed right into another and then affect the next thing and then affects the next thing. We're very much getting just dominoes of these different storylines, and how, if any of you have seen like those big domino displays,
like the
how they
kind of
split off
yeah,
into all of these different storylines. I'm just so excited.
Very excited. And obviously we're very excited for this next thing that is coming to Disney Plus. This is the first Disney Plus show to get the Marvel Disney Plus show to get this treatment, and that is Loki. We get a season 2. So Tom Hiddleston and Sophie DiMartino, and who else? I know Ke Quan showed up on stage, and Owen Wilson, was on stage. The surprise for me was Ke Quan.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if they had announced prior to today that he was going to be a part of Loki season 2, but this man deserves to be in any project he wants to be in. After the story I heard about why he didn't intentionally quit acting, that there was just literally no opportunity for him basically after Indiana Jones and the Goonies, but he stayed working in Hollywood, and then he got to be in front of the camera again for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
If you guys have not seen that movie, you are missing out. Go see it.
So good, and he is excellent in it. He's also in
he knocked me away, blew me away with his fighting abilities.
I mean, the man,
I was like, yeah.
And that's what he was doing off camera. He kind of became like a stunt coordinator.
Yeah.
Which is, I was like, well, that's so interesting. But now he is back, and he is literally in so many things, including Loki season 2. And he made a quick joke because he got the mic passed to him. They're like, hey, you're going to be in the series. He goes, wait, are you telling me that this isn't the Indiana Jones panel? Because they had literally talked about Indiana Jones just a couple of, minutes before they came out on stage. So I was like, oh my gosh, Short Round, Harrison, backstage together.
I would love just to be a fly backstage with all of these stars.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure it's just like a big green room that everyone is sitting in.
100%.
And they're all just kind of like, oh my God. I'm sure like Brie Larson was like, that's Harrison Ford.
Yes.
Harrison Ford's over there.
The stars being starstruck by other stars.
And that's always something that's made me laugh.
Yeah.
When stars get starstruck and they just like, oh my God, I just can't believe it's you.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're looking forward to the series. They gave us a little sneak peek. I'm not sure if you guys got to see it or not. I don't think you guys got to see it. But it looks even more intense because it's going to pick up from where season 1 left off. And there was a scene where, because remember when we saw him reunite with Owen Wilson, he was like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
He doesn't know who he is, and he took the what is it? The time stick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. One
is it
of
called?
those pruning.
The pruning devices.
I think they called them. I think they called them pruning shears
or something like that. And he stuck it into the wall, and it took away the facade and revealed Kang, like
all
the
of those Kang faces.
Yeah. So I was like, oh shoot. So it was, you know, I don't remember seeing a snippet of like a quick of Miss Minute.
Nope.
But I imagine she will definitely be back.
I want her to be in it.
And popping up and scaring us every time. Hey there. Hi,
and
y'all.
One of the things that they showed on this was assumed that one of the first clips is that they showed like the doors open, that ding, and the doors open, and then Loki's coming out going, oh, I can't remember what he said.
I can't remember what he said either. Yeah.
To where, like, you know, when he goes backwards in time, they get stuck in like that time trap.
There are glitches.
Yeah.
There are definitely glitches.
This series looks a lot darker than than season 1. It looks like it's going to be a lot more of a tangled web that they're going to have to try to make their way through. And I'm just, once again, this entire panel is just to get us excited.
Yeah.
And everything that they showed us got me excited for all of the properties.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, let's go ahead and move on to the next thing. We're going to take no time on this because Kevin Feige didn't take too much time on this. Fantastic Four, they put it up there to kind of say, hey guys, it's coming, and to confirm that Matt Shakman is going to be the director for the movie, because prior it was like, I don't want to say scooped, but it was, you know, released, like it was in articles, but it wasn't like Marvel announced it. So Kevin Feige essentially confirmed it at D23, but there was nothing else he was saying, because he actually said there's nothing really to report because we just got our director. We just confirmed this.
We just got a director.
He said there's going to be another D23 before that movie comes out, so there's really nothing to report. And then he moved on very quickly, which makes sense. The movie isn't technically coming out until 2024.
Yeah.
So and I know there's,
does that mean there's actually going to be 2 D23s before that movie comes out?
D23 is every other year, so there won't be one next year. So there'll be one in 2023.
Next
so
year is Celebration.
Yeah, so they'll do all the talks of
talks.
But I think cast would be announced by then, before that comes up. But you know, but that was his reasoning, which I think totally understandable. We were hoping for some sort of a casting announcement, but if you look at the time, it's a bit far out.
Yeah.
Even if they, you know, let's take one of the rumors and let's say like this person is confirmed, like or you know, is the rumor is true, let's just say that, like for an example, they still can't announce it because there's so many contracts and little details that they have to kind of hash out before they can properly make the confirmation. Basically, Marvel isn't ready to make the announcement, and that's okay because the movie doesn't come out for a while.
Yeah, there's a million things that can happen between now and then.
Yes, but what we are getting is Echo. That is coming to Disney Plus. We got to meet her in Hawkeye, and I really liked her character a lot.
We do have a super chat.
Oh, I missed it. This one?
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry, Harris. Theodore Harris writes, will Bucky be in Captain America, in Captain 4? Since he is now a part of the Thunderbolts, are they breaking up Sam and Bucky?
I think they are. I don't know if he's gonna be. They didn't bring him. They didn't bring him out for.
They didn't.
Yeah.
And he was already backstage. So
and he was here. He came out for Thunderbolts.
Well, you know, they kind of have. I feel like that's kind of how it ended, though, with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Is that they did their thing and now they can continue to move on and walk their own paths. Yeah. You know, I think they're still going to be friends. I think that isn't changing. So they'll probably be there for each other when they call upon each other for help. Yeah. But I think Sam's got, you know, things he's got to work out. He is now Captain America, and Bucky's got some stuff that he's got to work out too. And they have to be on their own path. So that's what I think I don't know if they're going to do any sort of Bucky cameo.
Nah. Well, they might have him like at the beginning, kind of showing, hey, I'm a part of a new team. Bye.
Well, just wait till Sammy hears that he's working with U.S. agent.
Oh, I'm really curious about that. But we'll dive into that after we talk about Echo and a few other little things that we got.
Why don't you talk about it? I'm gonna grab it.
Gonna grab some more water.
Yep.
Well, one of the things that, I mean, of course, they brought out the entire cast, and it was great to see them all coming out. But they did give us a lot of really good footage. They gave us this amazing trailer for it, and one of the big reveals that I'm just like, yes, we knew it was coming. We knew they wouldn't bring back Kingpin in Hawkeye and then just kill him off. Is that we see Kingpin, Vincent D'Onofrio, come out onto the screen, and he has that eye patch. Or it wasn't even an eye patch. It was like this really it was just like a big bandage that was over his eye. And the entire crowd just lost their minds on it. And I'm really excited for this series. Of course, pretty much everything that Marvel is bringing out is something that I'm just really excited for. They had, hey, hon, do you have the notes on the, okay, just checking. That's what happens when you have your significant other just coughing up. So, but let me see here, because I was actually filming the entire time. I'm going to try to get all of this footage onto my computer and to be able to get all of the video that I have onto either YouTube or onto Instagram or onto Facebook. But my phone doesn't actually take very good video. I found out that my cool little open phone that has 2 screens doesn't really film video very well, but it's what I have to work with. But I'm trying to remember all of the things that they actually showed us.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I have the notes. Sorry, guys. We have recovered from COVID, but this is one of the lingering effects. So, okay. What did you talk about? Vincent D'Onofrio?
I talked about Vincent D'Onofrio and Kingpin coming back, and the fact that he has a really gruesome eye patch over his eye.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
So in this one, they really, I feel like they're focusing a lot more on Echo's heritage.
Yes.
And they showcased a lot of the, excuse me, the indigenous people. And they also showed that she's got this like I don't want to call it a prosthetic, but kind of that like armor calf thing that was made for her.
Did they drop the trailer to the public?
Nope.
Okay, because I'm trying to. It's one of those things that when you've had very little sleep and you're trying to remember half. When you get like a dozen different things shown to you.
Yeah, this is why I would have liked to take notes on the laptop. But when they're like, "Close your laptop," I'm like,
I want to take notes.
You know what? That's where I should have notebooked it.
Yeah, and gotten like I'm gonna buy you one of those little pens.
Well, they're gonna tell me to turn it off. No, nothing lights up. Anyways,
it's a pen.
Yeah, it was exclusive. I feel like you said in the trailer, I didn't catch it. You said that there was a quick glimpse of Daredevil. You thought you saw it.
As a matter of fact, yeah, it was really fast. To where it looked like he was fighting Echo.
I mean, it makes sense. We knew that their paths would cross.
So
that's going to be interesting.
That was actually something that I was theorizing, that the later half, or like a big chunk of Phase 5 is going to be Daredevil. We know he's going to be in She-Hulk. We know that he's going to have his 18-part series, and we also I saw a quick little glimpse of him in the trailer of him fighting Echo. He's going to be in 3 different series, one of which is the biggest episode. I mean, has the most episodes out of any Disney Plus Marvel
Daredevil
show.
Born Again.
Yep.
Well, with that, why don't we talk about that? Why don't we talk about? Hold on. Let me see. Let me see if there's anything else about.
I have to admit, it was a very emotional when the cast came out and they started talking about their experiences on set, about how all of them learned American Sign Language, having the translators there, and opening themselves up to what the fact that there is just a completely different, there's a whole nother culture that comes around with learning sign language and with deaf people. And it was very awakening for a lot of the people on set. And it was just I can't, my brain, like a magical, it was just like, wow, you learn so much. And then of course they were already experiencing the culture of Native Americans. So it felt like it was just one of these productions that just had a lot of cultural awareness involved in it.
I can't wait to see it. I really liked her character in Hawkeye. I thought that was a great way to introduce her into the MCU. So I can't wait to see what else she gets to do in this one. We saw the classic, because she can kind of use sound to her advantage since she can't hear it.
Oh yeah, there was that one point
that she turned up like the bass or some sort of like sound where a bunch of people that she has to fight ended up covering their ears because they couldn't stand it. But she was like, haha, it doesn't affect me, suckers. Poo, 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 poo.
That would actually be a really smart weapon just to kind of have in your back pocket. Have like some kind of like sonic grenade to where you just throw it out there and it just does this and just loud noise that everyone's like, ah! And while they're flinching from pain, Echo just goes in there and cleans house.
There you go. And with that, they kind of whisked the talent off the stage, but Vincent D'Onofrio stayed on stage, and Kevin was like going to the scene. He's like,
"What you doing here?
Are you supposed to?" He goes, "Well, aren't you going to talk about my show?" And I was like, "Are we getting a Kingpin show?" Which would have been great, but let's be real. We're talking about Daredevil, Born Again, and then Charlie Cox comes on stage. He's like, "I think he's talking about my show." Yeah, that was really cool to see the two of them side by side again after the last time we saw them was the Netflix show.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. I don't think we got any footage.
What we got was the clip from She-Hulk.
Oh, that's right. We got a look. Okay, yes, because there was nothing that they were able to show us for Daredevil Born Again. But they did show us.
Started filming.
They did show us the footage of, because that is coming up soon. We don't know which episode. I really couldn't tell you by the looks of it. But Daredevil and She-Hulk meeting, not for the first time. In fact, in their exchange, she calls him Matt. And so they know each other's identities. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think Jen Walters is trying to hide her identity as She-Hulk, because it's like everyone it is knows. Out. But Daredevil is still kind of like on the down low, like nobody, unless you have to know basis, you don't know. But she was like Matt. So it still keeps like that fun, sassy back and forth of She-Hulk. But I felt like Daredevil is still like. It's not, because I know people were worried about, I've seen the comments, like, oh, they're going to make Daredevil goofy. I didn't find that at all.
No, he was a little bit more lighthearted. He was definitely not as dark and brooding as he was in the original, in like season 1 of Netflix, where he is really broody, which fit it perfectly. I thought it was amazing.
And the back and forth, you can tell it's kind of like a little competitive between two friends.
Yes.
Because I feel like both of them as lawyers probably have a little bit of that competitive edge in their soul. So there was a little bit of that back and forth. They were about to infiltrate a warehouse, and they were kind of a little bit arguing about
the difference between a goon and a henchman. I thought that was a really cool.
Yeah.
Where Matt is like, well, no, a henchman is someone who's devoted to a cause. A goon is someone who's in it for the paycheck. And I'm like, I like that. That is a very distinct difference between the people, and it wouldn't really matter who you're fighting. So I really like the fact that they made that kind of different. And of course, Jen's like, yeah, like I said, a goon. Whatever.
And they also talked about like the tactics of how to properly infiltrate the bad guy. She was like, well, why don't I just like She-Hulk and smash? And he's kind of like, what? It'll take me 15 seconds to take out each of these guys. And she's like, that's going to take like half an hour. That's not how the math works out. So it was really funny of the back and forth. And he does this cool thing off the roof. And she was like, even Jennifer was like, well, that's All right, that's pretty cool.
I cannot wait. It
Yeah.
seems like, he's going to actually be in a pretty good chunk of She-Hulk. So I cannot wait for that episode.
Yes. Oh, Cyber Goblin says, I think that scene's part of the mid-season She-Hulk trailer that just went up on YouTube. Well, we'll have to check that out and see, because it was a pretty long
haven't
clip.
been on YouTube very much recently.
I haven't had time to look at anything.
We're either streaming on YouTube, editing stuff for YouTube, or putting stuff up on social media, or being at D23. So it's kind of like, oh wait, that's right, there's other material.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and look at the next thing, which is Captain America New World Order. So we have, of course, Sam Wilson as our Captain America. Anthony Mackie was on stage alongside, let me just pull up my notes. Danny Ramirez, Carl Lumbly, which I was so happy to see. I was like, yes. And Danny Ramirez, and I was kind of surprised by this. Tim Blake Nelson is back. Do you guys remember Tim Blake Nelson from the Incredible Hulk?
Yep, 14 years. They teased the leader 14 years ago.
I guess Marvel doesn't forget, because he is back, confirmed to play the leader.
I love it. I love the fact that they're doing this, that they're bringing the original actor to do this. No one ever thought that we would ever actually get to see the leader, because it's one of those things that you're just kind of like, yeah, okay, that happened in the Incredible Hulk a long time ago. We're not actually going to get it. But sure enough, Marvel's like, no, we're doing it.
And you know what's interesting is that during, was it episode 3 or 4 of She-Hulk, when she was kind of, she encountered those henchmen in the alleyway? Yeah.
The Wrecking Crew.
The Wrecking Crew. And a lot of people in the comments are like, "Oh, what if it's the leader who sent them?"
Yeah, and it's very possible, because
it's interesting because we were introduced about that today.
Because the leader would know the value of a Hulk's blood, because look what happened to him when he became exposed to gamma radiation.
Yeah. So it was at the end of episode 3. Thank you, John.
Yes.
Yeah. So. There's that. I am so happy Carl Lumbly is back, because I feel like there is more to explore with his character.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like the heart and soul. I think he was the heart and soul of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I was curious to know more about his story, if we can explore that. And I'm happy that we are going to get to do that. So that's really
also
cool.
It's one of the, I love it when they talked to him. He was kind of like, I've been working my entire life, and you finally get something that you're like, oh, this could be something, and then it turns into something more. And when I first got this role for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I was like, oh, this is a cool little one-off role. But then it grows and it keeps on going, and it's one of those things that you're like, oh wow, this amazing thing that I got is now continuing.
Yeah.
And it's becoming even more amazing.
Yes. And I like what Theodore is saying there. Theodore says maybe we get Eli, his grandson, as well.
That would make sense.
It would make sense, because we were also introduced to him.
Patriot. Right?
The Patriot, for Young Avengers, because they gotta start,
they're putting together the Thunderbolts.
Tiny little puzzle pieces putting together, yeah.
They're putting together the Thunderbolts. That means they're probably going to put together the Young Avengers, because who is it? We definitely got Kate Bishop. We'll probably get Patriot. Who else is in the lineup? We were thinking that originally it was they were going to put maybe Elena into the Young Avengers, but no, she's in the Thunderbolts. That was finally confirmed.
Yeah. In any case, we're looking forward to Captain America. And speaking of Captain America, I have not run into the new Captain America at Avengers Campus at all.
Yeah, I'm a little bummed about that.
Every time we've gone, I was like, oh, is he not there Wednesdays? Because that's usually when we go. So
he probably, they probably only bring them out on like Saturdays and Sundays.
Well, we'll have to go on a different day or something. But we finally ran into Shang-Chi, so that was really cool.
And you should have seen it. Wendy geeked out. She's like, oh my gosh, I get to see Shang-Chi.
Take a picture with me. All right, guys, let's talk about Thunderbolts. Here is the photo of our lineup.
Are your new Thunderbolts.
The cast of Thunderbolts. We've got Yelena. We've got the Red Guardian. We've got Bucky, the Winter Soldier, U.S. Agent, Taskmaster, Ghost, and of course Val. Look at her. Look at her with the. This is just concept art, but like a sketch, because it's not photo. It's like a
they're not
artwork.
actually photos. They're
but
actually,
they look great.
You know, it was funny. I was actually surprised to see Red Guardian.
Me too.
I was like, and Red Guardian. I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense, because if Val is putting together this group, she has recruited Elena, and I'm probably sure she was like, oh, you know, we need some muscle. We need kind of just like a big, strong guy. And I'm sure Elena's like, I know someone. And then she helps recruit Red Guardian. And there's a lot of dynamics in this cast that makes me go, this is going to be interesting. One, the relationship between Elena and Red Guardian, having that father-daughter kind of relationship going on. But then you have U.S. Agent and Bucky. And a part of me is going, ooh, these two are going to be butting heads. I was actually really surprised to see
Super Soldier Serum versus Super Soldier Serum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Bucky wasn't.
Well, Bucky wasn't, but he's got
the arm, and he was pumped up by Hydra. It's Hydra's version of the Super Soldier. So I am really curious. And of course, one of the things about the Thunderbolts is the fact that, they're a ragtag group. This is you wouldn't call any of these people heroes. And what was it? Who was it that said, I think it was Kevin Feige, that was like, yeah, when Bucky Barnes is your stable guy in the group, you know you're in trouble.
Yeah, Kevin Feige did say that.
And I'm like, okay, this is going to be an interesting story.
Yeah, I'm excited that we got the who's going to be in the Thunderbolts, because everybody was very curious about it. A lot of people said it was going to be Abomination, and it doesn't look like Abomination ended up. I guess he really is just going to build his yoga retreat and hang out with his 7 soulmates and live that life for a little while. But I still feel that eventually soon we will get to see the Abomination again.
Yeah.
I don't think. I just don't feel like they would reintroduce him back into the MCU just to never use him again.
Yeah.
So
then just use him in Just She-Hulk.
Yeah.
But also, what is it? Who was it that sent in the super chat about Ghost? Because
that was a while ago.
Yeah. Well, we also do have Theodore's super chat about, will Bucky be in Cap 4?
We talked about this one.
We talked about it.
Yeah.
But there it is. And yeah, I'm wondering if Ghost still has her phasing ability, because that was kind of a big problem in the second Ant-Man and the Wasp, or in Ant-Man and the Wasp. But I don't think she would be a part of the team if she didn't bring some kind of superpower to the group, or some kind of special skills. I have a certain special set of skills.
I will find you. We have a super chat from Silver Princess. Thank you so much. Who writes, I still recommend What If Sheev Palpatine Was a Jedi by Pente Patrol, Star Wars. He is one of the best Star Wars channel. Best Star Wars What If channels. Nice. Thank you again for the recommendation and reminder. I'm just going to plug this guy in because we are losing
the low battery just came flashing on. You got it? But hold on a second. What was it? There was something else I wanted to talk about with the Thunderbolts. But yeah, one of the things that I am really kind of surprised about is that Abomination isn't going to be a part of the Thunderbolts, because I thought he would actually have been take place of Red Guardian and kind of be the Hulk of the Thunderbolts, because we still got Taskmaster. We kind of had an idea that Taskmaster was going to be it. We had theories that Ghost was going to be in it. We know U.S. Agent. We knew U.S. Agent. We knew Elena. The big surprises were Bucky and Red Guardian.
Yes. Very, very interesting. Very excited for the Thunderbolts. So everybody can rest easy. They've announced it. And, I'm seeing the comments. You guys are saying maybe Zemo.
And see, that was a theory that I thought was going to be a part of the Thunderbolts, was Zemo. Guess not. I'm wondering
I
if
mean,
Zemo is even
just
going to
because
be
he's-
in Thunderbolts.
Just because he's not announced today doesn't mean we won't see him in the movie. But I'm also not betting on it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Well, and remember, this doesn't come out until this is the Wakanda Forever for Phase 5. It's going to be the last movie of Phase 5 before we go into Phase 6. So
Yes.
it's far away.
Yes. So with that, let's go ahead and move on to the feature film that is coming out, The Marvels. So we got a glimpse of, I mean, we've already seen, have met,
Sorry.
we've already seen the characters, obviously. We've already met Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, and Kamala Khan. If you've watched Miss Marvel, which I really, really enjoyed, and the three of these characters together, who are all like very different type of people, is gonna be kind of chaotic. The trailer is more like wild than I expect. I don't know why I was expecting some sort of like serious thing, but I kind of like the direction that they went into, because we saw at the end of Miss Marvel, she went through her closet door, and then Brie Larson's Captain Marvel stands up and she's like, "Oh gosh, what's happening?" So there is this specific thing where when she activates this thing, like they switch places.
Anytime they use their powers,
yes,
somehow the light from their powers is connected. And anytime one of them uses their powers, they swap places. Or it really did seem kind of like anytime when two of them use their powers at the same time, that's when they switch places.
Yeah.
Because there was, in the footage that we got, there was this really cute scene when all three of them were around and like, okay, on 3, 1, 2, 3, go. And then on 3, Kamala and
Monica
switch. And they're like, why would you say on 3 and then say go? And she goes, I know, I realize that. That's my bad.
Yeah, it brings a little bit of the vibe from Miss Marvel into the show.
Yes.
And Iman Vellani is just such a joy. Like watching her on stage, just taking it all in. She was like so just over the top happy. She's giddy, and you could tell like her energy is very infectious. And I think it spreads to the rest of the set and whatever project she's in.
Did you see how she got taken off stage?
No, how?
Brie Larson actually kind of had her arm like around like this, and she's like, come on, we're going off stage. And she's just like, ah!
Yeah, which is kind of what we saw in Miss Marvel already. And it was cool because in the special look we got to see when she bamfed into another place, I think it was her and Monica switching places. All of a sudden, she's in like a spacesuit because they have switched places, and she's looking at Nick Fury. She was like, "Oh my God, are you Nick Fury? Hi!" just geeky. Like if Avengers were a real thing in our world, how a true fan would geek out over seeing one of the Avengers or somebody having to do with the Avengers, like a Nick Fury. Like that was her reaction. I was like, that would literally be me.
Mm-hmm. And I love it too, because when Kevin Feige was talking about her, she's like, yeah, she's probably the biggest Marvel fan in this room. And we only regret this decision just a little bit.
Yeah, because she's probably like, well, in the comic books, like I'm sure she's texting Kevin Feige.
Like,
well, Kevin, in the comic book issue this and that. Like it's great. I love that she's I love that about her.
Marvel nerd.
She is the real life Kamala Khan.
Yes, she is
amazing. There was another part where she and Captain Marvel switched places, and literally Captain Marvel was in the middle of a fight, so she got bamfed into it, and she was like, "Oh gosh, what's happening?" And Moose was there. Wait, is it Moose or is it
Goose?
Goose.
It's Goose from Top Gun.
Yes, I was like, it's Top Gun. Maverick? Nope. Goose.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know what Goose is capable of, but Kamala Khan didn't know that. So
dear God!
When Goose did the thing, she was like, ah! It was just the reaction's so funny. Like I think she's going to be a scene stealer in the Marvels.
Yes, I really think she will be, because she is just so absolutely adorable. She's very adorkable.
Oh,
You
so
know,
fun.
I mean, right up there with Kristen Bell of being adorkable.
Yeah, I actually I'm like even more excited about the Marvels after seeing the footage. So that was really great.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings us to the close of Marvel, and the very last title they showed us was Avatar. Oh God, here we go with the cough again. Marvel: The Way of Water. Take it away, Dustin, as I drink water.
For this one, unfortunately, James Cameron wasn't able to be there in person because he was still in New Zealand doing some editing and doing some of the special effects, because he has 4 movies that he is putting together. It's 3 movies over the course of 5 years. So he has his hands quite full at the moment, but they did Skype him in.
Yes.
And they had some conversations about, the fact that they are trying to, one, remaster the original, the fact that they are trying to bring all of this new technology, the fact that they're doing all of these movies together, and just what a huge undertaking it is. And the big thing for this part of the panel, though, was the fact that we got to see like 7 extended clips
scenes, yeah, from Avatar: The Way of Water. And because this film utilizes the 3D technology, and it is the best viewing experience with the 3D technology, they actually handed out to the audience not to keep
that
3D,
cool.
the Dolby 3D glasses. We got to keep the cleaning cloth that's
that says Avatar on it,
which
and
I
we
was
got
like,
a poster.
oh, that's useful. But we all got to put on our 3D glasses, and they actually they had curtain dividers for the entire auditorium, which I've never seen utilized before, but it makes sense for a convention hall. And for me, from where I was sitting, it worked fine for me. I know some people were complaining about the frame rate.
I'm sure if you had a really bad angle, yeah, it would look kind of weird.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. But I think we were lucky. We were seated at a pretty decent spot. I didn't really spot any problems with it. I will say the underwater scenes look so detailed, so vibrant, and the underwater stuff really popped more for me. But there was a lot of scenes that looked really, really good.
Oh my god.
Pretty intense scenes. I'm very excited to see more. And this is coming from someone who it's like, okay, I recognize why Avatar, when it first came out in theaters, was such a huge phenomenon.
And why everyone went to go see it multiple times.
But I wasn't super oh, I can't wait to see Avatar, the way I would check it out.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like, oh, this is my most anticipated. But after seeing this, I'm actually interested to see more.
Yeah, and also to see it in the theaters, because something that James Cameron did say is the fact that this is really meant to be seen in the theaters. And also the original is being remastered because it really needs to be seen in the theaters. I do have to admit, though, I'm probably going to wait for it to come back onto Disney Plus before I see it.
The original?
Yeah.
Your dad has it. You can just borrow.
Oh yeah, or we can just borrow it from my dad. Yeah. But it's, even though I have to admit it was beautiful, it was hyper realistic. I think in today's society, when it comes to movie culture, special effects can only really still get you so far, even if they're state of the art, high tech. It's right now there has to be a little bit something more to it. And they had a hint of it in this movie, in the clips that we saw, of the depth of story that they're going to be telling. This is going to be told over the course of, I forget, is it 3 more movies or is it 4 more movies?
I think 3
more movies altogether. But he's setting up to tell an epic story. And it really does talk about family, about being there and being able to protect the ones that you love. So I'm really curious to see this story play out.
Oh, this is a great, actually, I literally thought of this. Oh, also thank you to Anthony for your super sticker. Hey, Anthony.
It's super cute. It's
a little corgi, yeah?
Or Shinu Ima, or
Shiba Inu?
Shinu, that, whatever that is called. Or if it's a fox.
Yes.
I still don't know. I mean, it's a little bit of a vague sticker. I mean, what is it called? That's character in general that they have on Super Chats.
Oh, yeah. It's like the mascot.
Yeah.
Richard.
It's super cute.
asks, did you guys already talk about The Little Mermaid? We did yesterday on the stream, but I wanted to answer this follow-up question. How did Avatar compare water-wise? So I wanted to talk about this because as I was watching the underwater scenes for Avatar, my mind went to The Little Mermaid.
Yes.
So, and I'm not saying in any ways that like The Little Mermaid didn't look good. Mind you, that movie, The Little Mermaid, has a while to come out versus Avatar has been worked on by James Cameron for a few years and it's coming out this December. So like the quality of the special effects and the CGI are going to be at different parts of the development in the stages of development. I will say, specifically talking about like the movement of hair underwater, I feel like the Avatar one looked more natural.
Yes.
For Ariel, it looked good, but I felt parts of it was moving too much.
Yeah.
And it was like I just wanted it a little bit more, just dial it back just a little bit more because it was, and they were trying to show, and it wasn't like, oh, it's moving because she's moving. Like it wasn't because of that. Like if she was kind of floating and you know, you kind of have that like a little bit of back and forth, but it was like for Ariel, it was like sometimes. And I was like, oh, let's dial it down just a little bit. But again,
Ariel still has a Little Mermaid has a little bit longer.
It's got months where Avatar it needs to be,
right,
you know,
right
I mean, they're still working on it, you know, I'm sure every day, but yeah, like it's close to release, so it's different.
Something else is that, you know, 3D technology has come a long way, where before I mean, when I first watched some 3D movies, it took, you know, a good 20 minutes for my eyes to finally slowly adjust and for me to kind of be like, okay, and get used to wearing the glasses on your face. These glasses that we wore were a lot more comfortable.
Yes.
And it really didn't
They stayed on my nose. They didn't slide down.
Mm-hmm. And also they didn't fog up that much when I had my mask on.
Yeah.
But it's a lot more crisp. It's definitely 3D technology has come a lot further. However, I'm still part of it to where I would prefer to watch it not in 3D and to see it just on how it's kind of intended, you know, to where it's weird to have a beautiful movie that you put up in front of you and then put on a pair of glasses.
Yeah. But the technology's really come a long way since the first Avatar film.
To where it's a lot more viable now.
Yeah. And yes, 3D does suck for someone who wears glasses. I remember going to a 3D screening, but I didn't realize it was going to be in 3D, and they handed me 3D glasses, and I was like, I didn't wear my contacts today. So it was glasses on top of glasses, and I had to watch it like this, like holding it up.
Man, that sucks.
And it was annoying. It was really annoying. I think eventually I took off my glasses, and I was like, you know what, the screen's big enough, and I put the 3D on, and it was a little bit more
sucks
comfortable.
For someone who has like
really bad vision. Yeah, like mine's okay, like only this eye is the one that's really bad. This one's pretty good. So,
and if you forget to wear your contacts or you're not able to get contacts, it's gonna not be a fun experience.
Yeah. We have another super chat. This one is from Matt.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Matt writes, what are you most looking forward to watching from D23? Well, we got to see the two big panels in the last couple of days. On Friday, we got to see the live action / animation panel, which was
really cool.
Stellar. A lot of cool titles from that. And today was the Marvel Lucasfilm.
A couple good musical numbers.
Yes. So I will say we are looking forward to tomorrow's panel where we get to go and see the parks experiences one. That's so basically theme park related stuff because we are big fans of the Disney theme parks.
There is something about hearing news about what's coming new to the Disney parks. I have to admit that is one of the things that gets me the most excited. This whole time when we were getting set and ready for D23, I was going, I want to see the parks. Can we get into this panel? The parks and experience. What can we do to be able to get into this? Because this is something that ever since I can remember, I've always been excited to hear news about the new experiences coming to Disney. So I am super psyched for this panel tomorrow.
Yeah, we're very excited. I can't wait to see what is announced. So, follow us on our socials, Instagram, The Movie Couple, for Twitter, for the live updates, Wendy Lee Zaney, or I'm live tweeting from the panels as best as I can. I just saw in my drafts there's like the aerial stuff that never went out.
Oh, really? Because at the time we did not have any good connection.
So yeah, I'll tell you what's in my drafts right now. From yesterday's panel, so far they've shown us trailers for Hocus Pocus 2, spelled incorrectly. Disenchanted Peter Pan and Wendy, and Haunted Mansion. Didn't send that out. I'm not gonna send it ever. Talked about the trailer for the Haunted Mansion and the part of your world sequence that never got sent. And it's time for Marvel from today. never sent. It's fine. I'm gonna just delete them all. There's no point now.
Yeah, it's a little. It's
you won't
already
be like, what do you mean
news.
it's time for Marvel, Wendy? That was hours ago. So that is what we're looking forward to for tomorrow. But so far, D23 has been a lot of fun. We're just exhausted because we ended up staying up way too late to finish
go to bed on time
editing
today.
reel. Yeah, because tomorrow we have to get our credentials again at 8. So we gotta.
No fun.
Yeah. All right. So with that, I think there's one more I wanted to answer Debbie's question. Is there anything you saw from the Marvel Lucasfilm panel that made you more excited than you were previously? Definitely the Marvels.
Yes.
The
Marvels.
Tales of the Jedi.
Oh yeah, Tales of the Jedi was definitely something that I was like, I want to see this now.
It's not getting me more excited for anything. It was just cool to see Rogers the Musical live performance. Never gonna get over it.
That was fun.
They had confetti too. That was like da 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 poof, and I was like, I'm at a K-pop concert.
And then there was confetti everywhere.
People were picking them up and taking them home.
And something else. I'm trying to think of.
Loki season 2 because of. I mean, we were already excited about that, but the addition of Kiki Kwan is really cool.
Werewolf by Night. I have to admit, because since that was something new that we got to see, and because before I was kind of like, we had no idea what it was really going to be about.
Yeah.
We had very little information about it. And the fact that it's coming out in October made it so it was like, oh, okay, so this is what we're going for. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that made me more excited because I really didn't know anything else but the name.
Yeah. And with that, you guys, I think that is it for today's live, because otherwise I'm going to continue to cough in you guys' ears, and I don't want to do that anymore. I'm already annoyed with my coughing. So with that, we're going to go ahead and bid you farewell. Thank you guys for tuning. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. It really helps us get more visibility.
Smash! Smash!
I will try to upload the footage from Rogers the Musical. Maybe I'll do snippets of it on my Instagram, my personal Instagram, maybe.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, or something like that. Dustin recorded a bunch of stuff too, so
I've got to get it off of my phone.
Make sure you guys follow that, because Dustin's going to be making reels.
I'm going to try to, at least.
Yeah,
because technically, if we want to get 8 hours of sleep, we have to be asleep in 20 minutes.
That's not going to happen. I got work to do. All right, we love you guys. Thanks for tuning into this live, and we will see you. Do we want to do a live tomorrow?
Yeah,
for the parks, the theme park one?
If there's some really good news that comes out for the parks, then yes, we're definitely going to want to talk about it. We're going to want to show you guys what came out for the parks and the news. I'm starting to temper my expectations a little bit more with it, just because of the fact that, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things for the panel that we saw today
that was really cool.
Awesome. It got me psyched, and I'm excited for. But overall, I had so much Mephisto theories going on in my head that, we're going to talk about X-Men. We're going to talk about Fantastic Four. We're going to fill out Deadpool the rest 2. Of Phase 5, Deadpool 3. Yeah.
Deadpool 3.
And yes, so many theories, and none of them came true. So, that's kind of my own fault for psyching myself out for that.
There you go. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in again. Have a good night. We'll see you soon.
Bye.